All right, come on, Dan.
What do you want me to say?
Just introduce this. This is for posterity.
This is Mark Nichols recounting an event that happened several years ago at Rock Lake Christian Assembly, Vestaburg, Michigan, between himself, his grandfather, Sherman B. Nichols, and Maurice Wurtenberg.
Okay, so here's how it went down. I was working at Rock Lake Christian Assembly Church Camp. It was the summer after my junior year of high school. It was High Gates was the maintenance manager, and Grandpa and Maury, among other people, were out camping at the camp. Grandpa thought we had nothing better to do, and so he went and asked High if he could borrow me for an afternoon, morning and afternoon. And also asked if he could borrow the camp's pickup truck, old Chevy pickup truck, single bench seat. And so they wanted me to drive, so I was driving this old blue Chevy pickup truck, and Grandpa was stick shift. It was a stick shift. Grandpa's sitting right there next to me, in the seat right next to me, and Maury's on the other side of him. So we're literally like crammed in the front seat like this, and to shift, I've got to literally, Grandpa has to move his legs every time I've got to shift this thing. We were driving over to, I think it was Rockford is where we had to pick this freezer up. It was someplace hour and a half away. And the whole time, Grandpa's like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick up this freezer, and then we're going to go out to eat, and you're going to have the best steak you've ever eaten in your life. Your mouth, and he just kept going on and on about this steak, how great it was, how juicy, how it would just, your fork would just slide through it. And I'm just sitting here quiet listening to all this. We arrive at the lady's house to pick up the freezer. Of course, the freezer's in the basement. It's me and Grandpa Nichols, who, I don't know how old he was at the time. Old enough.
Too old.
He wasn't carrying anything. Let me tell you, I've pulled printing presses out of basements with him, and he's at the top saying, "Don't let go. Bring it this way. Bring it this way."
Well, that sounds very familiar. We had a dolly in the back of the truck that we put this freezer on. It was a chest freezer. And we loaded it up, and I'm basically maneuvering this, and I'm the one pulling the dolly up the stairs, trying to get it. Wouldn't fit through the basement door. And we were trying to wrangle in this thing. We measured it. We thought it would fit. We tried all these different angles. Maury says, "Sherm, I'm losing interest in this freezer real quick."
That's what I remember.
So Grandpa Nichols is like, no, we can get this. We can get this. And still is trying to get this. And finally, Grandpa Nichols gets up. He says, "Fine, let's go eat." So then we decide to go to this steak place. And we couldn't remember where it was at. We finally arrived at the steak place and had ribeyes. And that's when we walked in there, I remember Grandpa Nichols said, "Maury, you don't even need a menu." Prime rib. Yes, Maury, you don't even need a menu. We're gonna get the prime rib. It's gonna be the best steak you've ever had. So we all three get this prime rib steak, and all throughout the meal, Grandpa's wanting to know our opinion about this prime rib. Isn't that pretty good prime rib there, Maury? How about you, Mark? That's pretty good. Isn't that the best prime rib you've ever had in your life? And finally, Maury says, "Would you shut up, Sherm? The prime good's pretty good, but I don't need to hear you anymore." So, so then it was a nice awkward ride home in this blue pickup truck, shifting for an hour and a half in this old blue pickup truck with nothing to show for our efforts. We got back at about 5:30 that evening with nothing to show for our efforts of trying to pick up this freezer.
But wasn't that prime rib pretty good?
Oh, that prime rib and that's something else. The prime rib is something else.